So this here's a video on how to paint up a set of aggressors. We did them Alpha Legion. You can do them whichever Legion or Warband you like. We did them up this way. That way we can run them mostly as Raven Guard, but we can sort of in the lore still switch our Legions as we like. So if you like the way these look, please feel free to stay tuned and we will show you how we painted them up. We've done both sets. This here is the Boltstorm Gauntlet set. And this here is the Flamestorm gauntlets. So we've done both sets as well as the Sergeant's colors. We did the transfers, the basing, and such. So if you want to see the way these were painted up, stay tuned and we will show you what we did. So this is going to be our painting video on painting some aggressors up as Alpha Legion. So it's been a while since they were out, so this is not a new thing. But we want to round out our list we're making, so we're going to add some aggressors to it. We'll do both kinds, the Boltstorm gauntlets with the rocket launchers as well as the Flamestorm. So we'll do both of these, and you'll see each model as we're going. But effectively, we're starting with the normal gray plastic you see here. So the first thing we're going to do with this is add our base color. So we're going to spray the Leadbelcher spray paint to it, and then that'll coat the model completely and be ready for our next paint layer. So this is our model that we finished with the spray paint, and as you can see we've added a nice overall coat to it, and the spray is really great for getting up and inside all the crevices and cracks and such. So from there we're going to do our normal Alpha Legion armor color. So we've got multiple videos on the channel, and I'll link one right here on how to do that, but effectively it's a combination of a dry brush of Rune Fang Steel, followed by a watered down wash of Achelian Green, and then a light coat of Warp Lightning Contrast over the top of that. So those three colors there will get us our next coat. And like I said, we shared a video that shows us the details of that, but we'll meet back here once that base coat is done, and we'll start doing the rest of the model. It's Gravis armor, so almost everything is going to be this color when we get back here. So this is our model now that we finished with the armor color. So we did our Rune Fang Steel, and then our Achelian Green, and then our Warp Lightning over the top, and we got this nice shade of Alpha Legion Blue that changes color and gets that green tint just as we rotate it. So it's not quite blue, not quite green. And as we said, the link to how we did this is in the description down below, as well as posted to the top. Now, the other thing we can do is in one of the models, which is the Sergeant, we left the head silver, and then we came back with some Blood Angels red, and we did that over the silver base and got a nice metallic red color, just to make the Sergeant stand out on the tabletop and make them easy to identify. So you can do this as well if you like, completely optional. You can also leave the Sergeant blue and make the entire head match. So the next thing we did with our model is we took a little bit of Stormhost silver and we went over all of the trim along here, along both sides, just to bring it out and make it more Alpha Legion-y. So we're going to do that with all of our models, and then we'll meet back here in a few minutes. But once again, just straight up Stormhost silver, a couple of thin coats so you don't get it blotchy, because we want the nice metallic sheen to it. And we'll be back in a few minutes once that's finished. So now that our trim is finished, what we're going to do now is finish up the rest of the metallics on the model. So we've got the fuel cells in the back here, as well as on the other one we've got the ammo cables. So we have either or depending. We've got this cable here, these hydraulics for the legs, and then of course either the Boltstorm gauntlets or the Flamestorm gauntlets, and as well as the missiles on the top. All of that we're going to come back with and clean it up with some Leadbelcher, because you see how it's been colored over as we did the armor. We're then going to shade it all with a Nuln oil, and then dry brush over the top and Ironbreaker, and then that'll get us a nice 3D textured effect for everything we're going to put metallic. So we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll show you all of the metallics we did on both models. So now we're finished with the metallics that we did. We have the back of the Aggressor come out really, really nice. And it's shaded and highlighted as well. So what we're going to do now is a couple of different things. We're going to do this cable that runs through here. This power cable. And we're going to do that with a Mephiston red. And really brighten that out and add a little bit of contrast here to the rest of the model that's all blue and gray. While we're at it, we're going to take a little bit of Khorne red and do all of these ropes here, these cables or cords that are holding on all the trinkets. So we'll use both of those base colors of red. You could use just one if you want. I'd like the slightly different tone. But you could use either one. It's really up to you. Or separate them out like I'm going to do. We'll do that for all of the models that we have here. We'll also do it for the Flamestorm Gauntlet ones. And we'll do some of these cables coming down the back end here as well as all of the cords that are hanging from the torsos. So we'll do those now and be back here in a few minutes. So this here's our two Aggressors now that we've finished with the reds. So our Boltstorm is on the right and our Flamestorm is on the left. And the reds we used, as we said before, were the Khorne red on all of the cables and cords that are on the front here. And then we use Mephiston red for all the cords in the back. So that finishes up our bases for our two sets of reds. We're going to add a little bit of a dry brush of Evil Sunz Scarlet to both, just to touch up the high points and give that a little bit of depth. That's completely optional, you don't have to, but we're just going to hit a little bit of the high points there, just to add a bit of color. So we'll do that now and be back in a few minutes. So here's our Aggressor now that we finished with the highlight on the red. And as you can see, when you look very closely, you can see that there's a two-tone effect on the ropes and the cords. And then the same thing occurs on the back cabling over here. So now that we're finished with that, we're going to move on to another color. And for that, we're going to take some Retributor Armour. And we're going to go through all of the trinkets. So that's the piece here, as well as the one that's dangling. Each one has something different. We're also going to do, in the cases of the Flamestorm, the spout here where the flamer comes out. So just this flamer guard, because we'll end up shading it later to get a burnt effect as well. So we're going to do that as well as the trinkets with the Retributor Armour, and be back here in a few minutes. So this is our Aggressor now that we've done the gold trim. So on the Boltstorm, we also did the ammunition rounds, the ammunition magazine, whereas on the Flamestorm, we did the flamer output here as well. So now we're going to add a shade, and what we're going to do here is take a little bit of Agrax Earthshade over everything we did with Retributor Armour. And then once we're finished with that, we're going to take a dry brush of Liberator Gold over everything except the flamer spout. So we'll do that now, and we'll be back here in a few minutes, and then that will finish off our trinkets for now, and then we'll move on from there. So this is our Aggressor now that we finished with the gold. So we're going to move on from there to the next color. And what we're going to do is take a little bit of Abaddon black. And we're going to do the casings of the guns, or the Boltstorm gauntlets here. There's this back part in the back, as well as all the breaks in the armor, such as right there and over here, and then the bodysuit underneath, and all those places where the armor meets. And we'll just put some Abaddon black in there. We'll probably end up doing the base as well, because that got painted over when we did the priming. So we'll do both of those and meet back here in a few minutes. So this is our model now that we finished with the black. And as you can see, we did the base as well as some of the joints in the armor. So with that done, we're going to move on to one of the only things we have left, and that is going to be the eyes. So the eyes on the model here and here. And what we're going to do is, in the cases of sergeants where we've got the helmet is red, we'll put some blue eyes. So we'll probably put a touch of Thousand Suns blue, and then maybe a tiny highlight of Temple Guard blue, or something lighter. And we'll do that just sort of one speck with a detail brush in each eye, just kind of there and there. In cases where the helmet is blue, we'll probably do red visors, so Mephiston red maybe, followed by maybe a touch of Evil Sunz Scarlet, just for a little highlight, and then that'll allow us to finish off the eyes. We'll probably end up then basing the model, just sort of flocking the base and clear coating the whole thing. And so we'll be back in a few minutes once all of that is done, and you'll be able to see the final product. So this here's our Aggressors now that we've finished with the clear coat. We've also based them. We've added on the transfers on the shoulder pads, and we set them up as fire support, which is what Aggressors are. What we have here is our Flamestorm gauntlets, and we also did the Boltstorm gauntlets, which you see here. So if you like the way these looked, please feel free to leave a like or a comment on the channel. Tell us how well you like them, and otherwise than that, we'll see you at our next painting video. Stay tuned for a little bit, and we'll show you a few of the different models and the different styles, and you'll be able to see how we turned out.